It was incredible. It's for me, AI is the way of the future, and like he was saying, basically, if you're not keeping up with it, you're going to be left behind. And James's approach to making it very simple for the average user to use and get away from that whole fear of like, oh, what is AI? How do I use it, and so forth. It was just amazing.
It was a really good, informative course. I really enjoyed learning other ways of using AI. I personally have been using AI for the last 2 years, and even I don't consider myself an expert, but I do know things around AI, and it was really, really informative.
So let me introduce myself. I have been a marketer, a sales promotion agency for most of my life. AI has changed the world for me. We had 150 employees. They're all now working at home. If you are not using AI, your competitors are, and you're going to be out of business. AI is not going to put you out of business, but the fact that you're not using AI will put you out of business. Now, we've got a relatively short amount of time today to talk about it, so I thought, well, what could we give you for the greatest value in the time? What I want to do is I want you to start thinking about hiring a new assistant. That assistant speaks 39 languages. That assistant has got every college degree, every PhD degree, has written books, never run a business, has no emotion, and doesn't check its own work. Doesn't ask for a raise, is willing to work 24/7, and takes criticism very well. That's the ideal assistant. If you treat AI as an assistant, and so I refer to AI as assisted interpretation. It does not think. This is a misnomer that artificial intelligence is thinking and it's this great being in the internet world. No. It is dealing with databases. It is dealing with information. It is just accumulating it. So you will hear me say over and over and over, trust but verify. And it's created its own language. And the language is AI hallucinates. It makes stuff up. If you don't believe it, go on to AI and Google yourself. You will be amazed at who you are. I came out 6'7", different skin color, and I played basketball. Somehow I think they missed it, but I would have taken that, right? If you start thinking about it as a Swiss Army knife, you don't know what you're going to need with a Swiss Army knife until you reach in your pocket and it's got the tools. AI, in its global sense, is a giant toolbox. So no matter what you do, no matter what you think it will do it all. You just have to give it some space. I hear people say, well, I put it in and it didn't work. It's doing what you asked. You know the old story, garbage in, garbage out. If you're talking to it and explaining to it, it comes back with some things you may not have even thought of before. There may be some things you go, wow, where did it come up with that? And I'm going to show you how that works. So you've got quote unquote artificial intelligence, you've got AI, and you've got the magic. And the magic is business differentiation. AI makes you stand out in a sea of sameness. In a sea of sameness, AI and all the tools that are out there will change how your customer, how your client, how your employee thinks about you. So look, marketers, coaches, real estate, insurance, speakers, entrepreneurs, it doesn't matter. Not enough? You didn't see who you were? Well, here's another group. Again. If you start thinking about, well, it won't work for a travel agency. It won't work for insurance. It won't work. You're wrong. You're wrong. Think about it again. It speaks 39 languages. Everything that ever was written on the internet from 2022 back is in its database. And now, anything that's on the internet moving forward, depending on which tool you're using, is accessible. We know it's on the internet somewhere, pretty much everything. The fact that it's often wrong the fact that it's often not verified, that's your job. That's your job. And so in looking at where you're going, your job is to be the compass. Your job is to keep AI focused on what you want. Here's rule number one. Before you start, establish the end results first. Don't just go, I think I'm going to go out here and see what's going on. If you're a pilot, you have a flight plan. You're going to go from point A to point B. It isn't they go out and go, well, it's sunny that way, we're going to head off that direction. But the pilot has hundreds of what ifs. Fuel, crazy passengers, bad weather, etc. What AI and its permutations do is it gives you all of those things to think about. So if you're looking at this, look, businesses today are using AI. I don't care what the business is. They are all figuring out ways. I had a meeting recently with a doctor that said, I hate my employees. I want to get rid of every employee, and I want AI to do everything. I said, really? Who's going to draw blood? Oh, well, we need somebody for that. Well, I said, who's going to write the prescription? Well, we need somebody for that. Well, you know, once again, her perception and the reality changed dramatically. Well, she was having an issue with 2 employees. I said, well, that's real simple. Get rid of those 2 employees. Start all over again. Yes, but it takes long to train them, and if I train AI once, I said, how are you going to be HIPAA compliant? How are you going to be, she, oh yeah, I hadn't thought about that. So it is not the panacea for every situation. Here's what it did do for her. It set up the onboarding process. Fill out the form. Well, my people don't type. I said, okay, we're going to make it a verbal onboarding process. Well, they speak several languages. Okay, we're going to put in 39 languages. I think that covers everybody. So literally, it changed what the receptionist had to do, because she would basically say, here, talk to this and answer the questions, and then she would review it to see if it was okay, as opposed to sitting there and doing the intake. The second part of this is that if you do not adopt to using the AI tools, you're going to be left behind. End of conversation. Will it grow more hair? No. Will it stop getting you older? No. Will it tell you things that you might be able to do to alter your life or to change your dietary or your exercise? Absolutely. You want an exercise program? AI can do it. You want a diet program? AI can do it. You want recipes? AI can do it. You want to know whether this eye makeup is good for you? AI will take a picture of you and will help you decide things. It is, without a doubt, the greatest assistant you can ever hire. And for ChatGPT, that's $20 a month. How many of you are using ChatGPT? Raise your hand. Keep your hand up if you're paying the $20. Shame on you guys. People put their hand down. Is your business not worth $20 a month? Seriously. And I'm not picking on you. Listen. There's 200 million ChatGPT users, and less than half are paying the $20. I can't wrap my head around that. It's $20. It's a couple of Starbucks. If you don't believe me, put a question into the 3.5, pay the $20, and put that same question in the 4.0. You won't believe the difference. ChatGPT is one AI tool. There are now 35,000 AI tools. Anyone that tells you that they're an expert on ChatGPT and AI, run away from them. There is no such, you cannot be an expert at anything that's constantly evolving. I don't care whether you're cooking or racing a horse or growing something in the garden. If it's not static, meaning you can't learn the processes and procedures, then it's evolving. And ChatGPT and AI tools are evolving faster than anything I've ever seen in my life. If you think about ChatGPT as a car, but the car is a hypercar. If you don't know what a hypercar is faster than the sports cars because it's all electric engines, an engine on each wheel, and literally 0 to 60 in 1.5 to 2 seconds. It's a rocket ship without wings. So learning to drive that is not like your grandmother's Oldsmobile. If you don't learn how to drive a hypercar, you can be in serious trouble, and sometimes worse, because it is so powerful. That's ChatGPT. If you let